music. Get some spooky tunes going. Pull up my Roll20.
Yeah.
Close that and that. Alright. Last time on Augon, Renewal of Shadow, you all continued your investigations in the town of Oakmil. Beginning with the continued questioning at the Dr. Bergenworth's office, where you questioned both Dr. Bergenworth and his assistant, Asenath, who Silas had more pressing questions about, but was eventually talked down from asking more questions, as it seemed that there was only circles going from the questions being asked. After you discussed what you did at Bergenworth's and got some questions answered, you exited the building, and I believe you went straight to the orphanage afterward, not investigating the, whatever it was called, the, sewage pipe, that, originally you had heard news from where the body was discovered. So you went toward the orphanage, where you entered this old, run-down building. Silas and Astrid had difficulty stepping foot forward onto the property, as they felt a shiver of fear go down both of their spines as they moved closer. As you entered, you found yourself in the ruined orphanage, very old, decayed, and wet from the rainwater because of the amount of holes in the ceiling. You examined around and eventually found a massive hole in the floor that seemed to go down to a bigger hole that almost tunneled into the ground. You went and had Silas get lowered down into it to explore and see what he could find. As he was being lowered down, he wasn't finding anything particularly worthwhile down there. It was just continuing down, and before he could get a chance to go deeper on the surface, Soul walked off and entered a new room where she went into the basement of a room, finding a empty cellar-like room with a bunch of shelves that had nothing on it. Unable to see anything, she exited and went back. Silas was pulled up. There was some discussion, and then Astrid said that you should check the cellar room one more time over, just to be sure. As she entered, she was able to notice one thing. What looked like a part of of one of the shelves that was not covered in dust, in a print that looked almost like a hand pressing up against it and pulling it. Pulling at the side of it, you all found a secret passage, a hole in the wall, looking man-made, that went spiraling downward. As you all entered, following after one another, as you did, the door behind slowly slid closed the shelf, trapping you, air quotes, it's wood, assumedly. Maybe it is more. But trapping you, nonetheless, in the passageway. The claustrophobic, dark passageway as you continued downward, down this spiraling long way into the underground, in this cramped, claustrophobic area, until you reached a dead end with a hole in the floor. Taking some precautions, you all eventually made your way down the hole, finding a ladder, lifting it up, and having the rest climb down. As you all found yourself in what looked like a cave. Inside the cave, you looked around, and you found what looked like a divide, where some man-made flooring and wall came in. Opening the door of this man-made area, you entered into a strange, almost like dungeon-esque area, man-made, the stone walls around you. As you approached in and found yourself in the main room of it, the only room, which was empty aside from three things, technically. 2 holes in the floor. 1 surrounded by a casing of stone like a well, and the other just in the floor that went down and appeared to go into deeper waters. In the middle of the unguarded hole in the floor with water, there was a stone ritualistic platform that sat empty. Or at least you assumed it did. Magic did come forth from it, illusion magic that Beryl could sense. Then, there was the other hole in the floor, which had the young Billy unconscious in it, in a daze. Uh, as you all approached, Asenath appeared, seemingly appearing out of nowhere or coming out of invisibility. As, stammering madly, like she was insane, she tried to convince you all to leave, even offering you each 1,000 gold. There was desperation in her voice and almost panic, and she seemed afraid, but also very desperate. As she attempted to plead with you, her bargaining fell on deaf ears, and before any preemptive attacks could be made, 2 creatures crawled out from the water. Tall and large, looking like the mixture between a crustacean, a serpent, and a cephalopod, as they stood tall, glowing, their shells on them a pale bluish white, and with their tentacles glowing a foul, pale magic. You all began to fight against Asenath, who had powerful magics that Isaac recognized to be like his. As you all fought against her, eventually you were able to kill one of the creatures and kill the other. And then Asenath fell as she was hit by an eldritch blast from Isaac, as she attempted to call out, crying in pain, desperately saying that she did not want to do this, and going to a final rambling, before she stopped talking and began clawing at her throat, as a foul sound of her coughing as if she could not breathe, as if she was suffocating to death, began to be heard. A wet-sounding suffocation as well, as soon, clawing at her throat and unable to breathe, she fell to the ground, as water poured out from her open mouth, her eyes rolled back into her head, as she laid dead on the ground. After that, it was quickly decided to jump into the pit and get the boy out, which you did, and then there was some other things that people wished to do once session picked up today. Before we get into it, does anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns? Anything I left out that they think was important? Felt like I was pretty thorough in that one. So I'm going to give it a 5-second countdown in a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As we are going to get back into it. I suppose for the purposes of this, I can pull you guys back to the map. I don't think there's a reason not to, so I'll do that. As back on the map, we pick up where we left off last session. Silence in the air, and the smell of the sea present. The water that poured from Asenath's mouth is now foaming on the ground like a thick sea foam, as she still lays dead. What do you all do?
Jake, you did forget one thing. I found the seal,
the symbol.
or
the symbol,
yes.
Yes.
And I cast identify on that.
Yes.
And nothing happened.
And nothing happens. Yes, you all found a symbol amidst the ruins. Amidst the body, not the ruins, amidst the body of Asenath. Yes, the symbol being in the handouts as the dark half symbol.
Mm-hmm.
The symbol looking to be tendrils surrounding a fanged maw, at least looking like that, but it's strange looking. It's half symbol. Gonna zoom in on it for the stream so that they can see it. Close it. And then we pick up. I'm not gonna repeat what I said about the foaming of the water, so we're just picking up. What do you all do?
Can I roll a history check on the symbol?
No.
Okay.
As I said, nobody recognizes it, even a lick.
Okay.
Soul would walk over to the body,
Mm-hmm.
and then she would begin ritual casting Gentle Repose.
Sure. Sure. What's everyone else gonna do?
I believe I was trying to search sort of the room itself to see if there was any way out that was hidden that isn't just the way we came.
You can roll a perception check or an investigation. Perception's a higher DC. Okay, so as you look around, you don't find any sort of hidden doors or mechanisms of anything of the sort. You do not believe you see anything. All you see is, as you look around, the hole in the hole in the floor near the platform here goes deeper in. As you can see, it goes deeper, and there is water that continues to go down that way. As you see nothing else aside from that.
Investigate the stone platform that I'm on for anything arcane or hidden.
Okay. You don't have to roll an Arcana check. There's no magic emanating from the platform. In terms of hidden, why don't you roll investigation? Yeah. So you see what looks like on the sides of the pillars, on the what would be like the fingers of the pillars, because it looks like almost like a taloned hand coming up from the water. Um, on the sides of each of the fingers, there's something written, and it's hard to see. It's almost like weathered from like sea damage, like it's eroded away. But you can tell that there was something like carved into it. And the bits that you can see look like literal nonsense to you. It literally looks like people just took words and started took letters and just started putting them next to each other, and took other letters and just started combining them into weird new letters. Like, it literally just looks like a jumbled mess of nonsense, anything that you can make out, and that's if you can make anything out. Again, this is very faded, very eroded on the sides of the fingers.
Does it look so eroded that I don't feel like, even if this was some weird language and I utilized comprehend languages, that I would make anything out because it's too hard to read?
I mean, you don't think that... you don't know, because you don't know what language it is, but if it was a language, so you can't say whether or not you know if those phrases written there are particularly useful.
Unless someone stops me, I'm going to start ritually casting comprehend languages then.
I mean, we don't know what you're doing, so I don't think anyone can stop you.
We also have the 10 minutes ritual cast that Saul's doing, so.
Yes. Is anyone else doing anything?
No. And we checked the boy. He was unconscious but not injured. Right?
Yes, I believe you checked the boy, but let me double check if there was a medicine check last. Yes, you checked the boy.
The boy.
You checked the boy. He's alive.
Good.
But he is unconscious. Anyone else doing anything during the 10 minutes? Okay. Soul first then. Soul, your gentle repose goes off. You doing anything else afterward?
I guess she'll. No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
What does Gentle Repose do?
Can link the spell if you'd like. There you go. Silas, as you cast Comprehend Languages on it, touching the pillar as you do and touching the letters. I mean, it just seems like clumps together formations of letters. You don't understand anything, even after fully casting Comprehend Languages. It almost makes your head hurt a bit, trying to, like, comprehend it. You can see the magic go off, and you can see, like, the magic itself altering your mind, trying to, like, rearrange the letters to make them fit for you into something. But it's just nonsense. It just never corrects itself. And it almost gives you a headache.
If it starts to actually bother my head, I would actually just discontinue Comprehend Languages, like stop concentrating on it.
Sure, okay. That's fine then.
There's some weird writing over here that even Comprehend Languages can't make heads or tails of.
Did you say writing?
Yes.
Isaac would go to.
So I'll point it out.
Mm-hmm. Isaac, as you look at it, doesn't seem like anything to you for the moment you look at it. But then, as your eyes linger for a moment, you feel a twinge of pain go through your mind, and you grasp the side of your head in pain as almost a bang goes off in your head. As the bang goes off, roll me a wisdom saving throw. Okay. As the bang goes off, you hear a voice in your mind almost muttering something repeatedly, like in madness. At first you don't comprehend any of it, but then as it continues on, it begins to make sense, this mantra, this thing that continually gets repeated. It's a male's voice that repeats it. As translated over into common, it is saying deeply into your mind, over and over. Let me find the quote. 1 second. Where is this? I'm so sorry. I realized as I was saying that I did not have what I was about to say memorized. As first it goes, they brought it, and trapped it. They brought it, and trapped it. They brought it, and trapped it. After that, it continues to say in your mind, through its touch, I have gained truer sight. Through its touch, I can read all. Through its touch, I see the truth. As it continues over and over again in your mind. And then, as you look to the pillar, Isaac, afterward, after the twinge of pain stops, you stop grasping the side of your head. You can't comprehend what the pillar itself says, even in the slightest. Like, even with your new ability that is clearly happening here. But you do see all of the letters rearrange and organize into what you think is the correct order of the phrase that is written on the side of the stone, and all of the letters have become clear to you as well. They are no longer in that eroded form. So make sense of this if you want to, but that's what it is.
That's what it says in common.
No, that's what it says. It doesn't translate to common for you.
Okay. I'll take that down. What was the second line? After they brought it, they trapped it, and they trapped it.
They brought it, and they trapped it. And then it was... Through its touch, I have gained greater sight. Through its touch, I see the truth. You get the feeling, though, Isaac, as you look at it, that it's not a language that you're
Yeah.
looking at on the side of the pillar. That it's more like... What's the word? Not code, but something akin to a code. Like a scripture.
Yeah.
A cipher.
A cipher, sure. Or if it is a language, it's no language that can be comprehended. But you would have all seen Isaac clutch the side of his head for a moment and then start looking at the pillar again after quickly getting reoriented. And that's what you see, Isaac.
Mr. Darrow.
It's nothing, Beryl. Just a headache. The words, or the letters, whatever they may be, they make my head hurt.
Right, well then I would suggest stop looking at them. I can't protect you from mental attacks. I told you this.
Yeah. And Isaac will turn away, and he won't say to the party what he read or saw.
Sure.
Ironically, did you get anything from it, Isaac?
Besides a bit of headache, no.
Can I insight check him?
Go ahead.
If you'd like to.
Where's my deception? There it is.
Sorry, 1 second. My thing broke.
I rolled a 15. I rolled it at GM. I don't know why I did that.
That's usually what you're supposed to do.
Okay.
Damn, bad roll. You get the feeling that Isaac is withholding information from you.
Okay.
Or that he's not
I was gonna say anything else.
or that he's not fully telling you something more of. Cause I mean, what did you say specifically, Isaac?
I said that the words or the letters made my head hurt, which is not.
Well, you
False.
also said to him that you didn't really get anything, which isn't
Yeah.
fully a lie. So you get the feeling that
Besides
he's
the headache.
withholding something from you, but not necessarily fully lying. It's a half truth, is what you can tell.
This doesn't say anything else.
Okay. What do you all do afterwards?
Fuck me.
I think
We
it's
should-
time to get out of here.
Yeah, I agree. We should probably get this boy to some safety. Looks like we're just leaving the way we came in.
Seems like it.
Unless you want to go straight down into a rather large swim. I don't, for the record. It just seems like an alternative route.
I'll pass.
Start heading towards the exit.
Beryl, as you start walking towards the exit, and as all of you begin to exit, Beryl, you feel your foot stop, as if you stopped walking, and you feel your attention being drawn to back behind you at the way you just came. Do you turn to look?
Like, back from the pit?
Not from the pit. This is like if you... Okay, so let me use the map, because it's here.
Yeah, give me an idea.
So, you've walked out here, your attention's being called back into the room.
Okay.
It doesn't feel malignant or anything like that.
I'll turn around.
As you turn around and look, you see what looks like a young girl dressed in dark black clothing with long black hair, no longer drenched in water, no longer covering her entire face, no longer blocking her eyes as she looks at you. She is somewhat spectral and faded in her form, but you can see her pale white skin as she as well, you see from under the hair that was once blocking her eyes, you can see perfectly clear what look like an almost purplish dark eyes that look out towards you with very, very sincere and obvious gratitude. In her hair, you see what looks like a hair clip that is in the shape of a raven in her hair as she looks out at you with gratitude in her eyes and sadness. And then you see a... You can feel the magic from here, even. But despite it feeling cold, it almost feels comforting as it envelops around her. And you see a black, raven feather black energy moving around her. As it does, she is enveloped and just looks out at you one last time with those... with incredible gratitude, and vanishes as what looks like a raven feather falls to the ground and lands atop an item on the floor, the clip in her hair that was once there, now on the ground with a raven feather sat atop it.
I'll go over to it and pick it up.
As you pick it up, you feel a heavy sadness go over you as you hold it in your hand for a moment. A grief that can only be felt by a family member having lost one of their own. But then it fades after. Thanks, phone. I don't know if any of you heard my ringtone go off during that, because...
No.
Yeah, thank God, because it really killed the mood here! But you hold it in your hand, it is warm for a moment, and then it goes back to its normal metal state. As it is the clip of a raven that you would put in one's hair. Doesn't feel magical or anything like that, it just feels like, a normal hair clip.
I'm so sorry your life got cut so short, Sibylla. I'll make sure your brother knows you're at rest.
Did any of us see her?
None of you got invited to look back by it, and this was as a barrel was walking and all of you walked out. But no, I wouldn't say any of you would have seen it. I guess actually, if any of you stopped to look as Beryl stopped, because you might have heard, you probably would have seen her, yes. But you probably heard that at the very least. It's not a very... there's not a lot of space to not hear things as people talk, generally.
Soul wouldn't have left the corpse, by the way.
Which corpse? The corpse of Asenath?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
She would have brought it with her.
Okay.
Carry.
As you pick it up to carry it, it feels heavy. Heavier than you'd expect. And as you carry it, water leaks from its mouth continually as it as you move with it.
Girl, are you good to go?
Yes. I think we should go.
Okay.
You heading out?
As you guys head out, you're gonna climb up the ladder.
Yeah.
How are you getting the body up the ladder, Soul?
She'll wait for somebody to get up top, and she'll throw up a rope and tie it around the body.
Okay. How tight?
Uh,
I don't need
tight.
to. I don't. I'm not, I've already got my point across. I don't need to do this any further. Okay. Someone gonna help someone to help Soul pull the body up?
Yeah, I'll help.
Okay. You'd be able to, and then you're back in the, claustrophobic cavernway. Who's carrying the boy?
Astrid is.
Okay. Just gonna roll something very quickly. Probably won't matter because I can't see this mattering. Yeah, okay. Boy does not wake as you all walk. As you're moving and heading back the way you came, you find yourself at the blocked way you once came, as it's still dark and still blocked, as the pathway before you is there. Blocked off.
Can I try to push it open?
As you go to try, before you make contact with the door, there is what sounds like a loud bang, and you step back a bit, and the wood in front of you just completely shatters a bit, shooting in, just barely missing, splintering you all, as the pathway lies open.
I'll exit.
As you exit,
Is that your ghost, Beryl?
No, I think that was just really old and shoddy construction. She's at peace. I'd like to make a quick stop before we leave town, if that's all right.
Of course.
I would hope you're making at least 2 quick stops and not just taking Billy with you.
My
Oh, yeah,
lord.
right.
I won
We found
him in
this now. It's
combat.
ours.
Okay.
Maybe he knows how to drive a carriage.
As you all begin to walk out of the, go ahead, Rogue, were you gonna say something? You just unmuted.
Soul would hang back while everybody walked out.
Okay.
Then, like, how much wood is there on the floor?
It's like shattered. Like, it like weirdly exploded. Like, there's not much of it left.
I meant at the upper level of the building, because I thought we were leaving the.
Oh, how much wood is there in the upper level of the building?
Mhm.
Like, just miscellaneous wood, or like wood on the floors, like in the flooring itself?
Miscellaneous wood.
There's like a couple very large planks of wood.
Once everyone exited, she'd just bend down and rub her hands across it, igniting it.
Okay.
Then
Didn't know you're doing that while everyone was exiting, but that's fine. I do have to describe this though as everyone walks out.
sorry.
It's okay. As you guys were walking out, the haunted and disturbed feeling of the orphanage has somewhat faded. It doesn't feel as dark in here anymore. However, there is still a lingering, just a tiny bit, that nags at each of you as you walk through. A lingering shard of what feels like some sort of malice or darkness that remains in the building.
I don't know if we considered this, but you think the doctor, like, knew?
He only got here 2 years ago. I don't think it's very likely.
But I mean,
would agree.
when you
Well,
work close
'cause-
to with somebody.
Well, if
Kinda.
this boy needs medical attention and we take him to the doctor, and then the doctor's part of the problem, we're gonna look like
Big idiots.
yeah.
You should take the boy to the man, have the man take the boy to the doctor, and then we're done with it. And the proper officials of the city would be aware of everything.
I was going to take him
Something
to
happened
his
to the boy at
family.
that point.
Would you be having this conversation in the building before you step out, or are you doing this after you step out?
I would imagine outside.
Yeah,
now that we're
just
free
after
of
we
the
step
oppressive
out.
aura.
Okay, so outside, Soul, you do what you do, and then you relink up with everyone as you show up now with them, assuming you're still doing that.
Oh, she was just trying to set the building on fire.
Correct, I know. So yes, you come out. And
Yeah.
you're outside now, and they're in the middle of this discussion.
Do we see the building going up in flames right now, or has it yet to start and we didn't notice her lighting it up?
I mean, you could probably smell fire by this point.
Does anyone smell smoke? I turn and look and see, I guess, the building lighting on fire.
Soul, did you set the building on fire?
I mean, it's not on fire yet. It's slowly burning up. Like, you can smell fire. You can smell fire, but it's not like on fire yet.
We have closed this chapter. I think we should leave.
We haven't, actually, considering that the previous director of the orphanage seemed to suffer from the same thing as Nath did. It could jump from person to person, and now the people of the village have no way to get down to the murder pit.
That's true. What if they don't believe us that there is a murder pit down there?
Also, just going with arson straight away is typically a bad move. If your business is done in a building, most of the time we don't burn them afterwards.
Yeah, that's not how you close doors.
Well, if there is a murder pit, no one will be able to get down there when this is over.
Azanath
Okay.
could teleport into the room.
Also, consider that we're showing up with a dead body who no one has suspected as of yet, and we're going to tell them that this was the person causing it, and we don't have any evidence to prove that. We don't have proof of a murder pit.
Now the
Soul,
building,
can you please stop the fire?
now the building is starting to catch on fire.
Oh boy.
Okay, she would drop the body,
Thuds on
And-
the ground.
then run in and start trying to snuff out the flames before everything just goes down. Using control flame.
Can you link control flame very quick? Because fires spread pretty quickly.
Can I say that the building was wet?
Yeah, the
It is
building
wet.
is wet. That doesn't necessarily help, because it's also very old and a very dead wood. But let me see control flame.
And she's looking around and trying to snuff out
5 foot
major.
cube. One action. Let me think. I need you to make a dexterity save as you're doing it. Okay. So a burning piece of one of the parts of the structure falls on you, knocking you prone for a moment and doing what is 2 bludgeoning damage and then 3 fire. But that only slightly delays you, and you're able to mostly put out the fire though the front portion of the building is pretty thoroughly charred and very unsafe now, you can tell.
All right.
What do you do after? Are you going back outside, or...?
Yeah, she's not staying there.
Okay.
Thank you, Sol. I very much appreciate it.
I am sorry for putting so much strain on you back there. And setting the fire.
Just ask next time.
Yeah, they may want it burnt down after all the trouble it's caused them, but
They may be happy to have you go back and burn it down if you ask nicely.
I will say, it's not likely they don't believe us, considering everything. Although I didn't want the building burned down because supposedly she has thousands of gold, and she surely didn't hide it anywhere that the doctor was aware of.
Let's just play it coy around this doctor.
Last time we did that, he caught it, and it made the situation worse.
I'm going to take the boy back to his family. If they want to contact the doctor from there, that's their decision.
We should.
But he doesn't seem to be hurt, just unconscious.
Jake,
Yo.
does a person need to be conscious for me to use Awaken Mind? Or can I touch their brain and see what's going on in there?
Gross.
I mean, you don't see into their mind, they just communicate with you.
Yeah, that's a good point, yeah.
Like, it's just telepathy, it's not like you peering into someone's mind. But I would say to communicate with someone using Awakened Mind, I would say, yeah, they have to be conscious. I don't know if it specifies that, but it should.
Yeah. What about detect thoughts? If I could use that, would I be able to see into his mind? Because what I want to do is like
You can detect
kind of
service thoughts, yeah. A sleeping person assuredly could still have thoughts, possibly, if they're dreaming.
Yeah.
What do you want to say? Are you trying to dig deep? Well, okay, you're casting the spell. Link detect thoughts, very quickly?
Yeah, I'm casting this spell, and my Isaac's reasoning being that he wants to make sure that whatever was infecting Asenath has not also taken hold of this boy.
Okay.
And he's not letting anybody know. He's just doing this.
Well, it has verbal, somatic, and...
Oh, it does?
Yeah, it does have a verbal, somatic, and material component. So it's not exactly easy to hide. You could roll like a sleight of hand and a stealth for it, but...
in that case...
really weird.
Weird. In that case, can I roll a deception check to make it look like I'm doing a medicine check on him?
Yeah, if you're trying to make it seem like that, sure.
Yeah, I'll just go up to Astrid and be like, "Can I check the boy for a sec?" And I'll put my hand up against his head to make it seem like I'm checking for a fever or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I will roll a deception.
Sure.
That's not a deception.
We actually
He's attempting to
checked him
deceive me. Do I have to
downstairs.
counter that?
I mean, you don't have to, but, passively,
Passive insight.
with passive insights, people know that he's not doing that, unfortunately. Because that's a really shit roll.
Yeah, it is pretty short.
But you cast the spell regardless. It's 6 seconds. I mean, it's an instant cast. Before anyone reacts or anything, you get the surface thoughts, and the boy appears to be having a dream. In the dream, he appears to be... It's some innocuous, just like, harmless thing. Like, he's probably playing around with a dog or something.
Okay.
Baby shark.
Baby shark.
No, I didn't want to do anything related to water because I thought you guys would freak out
would be
if I
bad.
even
Yeah.
just said he was just swimming in like a lake. I assumed you would take that and go, "Oh!"
Got
That's
it.
fair. We're pretty reactionary.
That is the exact face I would have made.
Wait. Hang on, Jake. One more time.
That's a
That's
Jake.
okay.
That's a Jake Pog.
Yeah, the Jake Pog.
Yeah.
Isaac.
What are you doing, Isaac?
Oh, it's just a little prayer that my mother taught me.
You want to try again?
You can roll a deception check for that one just in case.
Sure.
It's just.
Oh fuck!
You don't have a mother.
It's such a compulsive.
Stop
movie.
lying!
This is like Soren all over again.
It is. That's what I was just about to say.
Like I said, passive insight.
Is there a reason you're continually hiding and lying about things right now, Isaac?
Whatever you mean, Silas.
Can I try to
Just
pick Isaac up?
I mean, Isaac, you gonna resist Beryl picking you up?
With my noodle arms? No.
I mean, you can roll in acrobatics if you are.
I will wiggle. With my acrobatics.
So yeah,
Oh,
if you don't want to get picked up by her,
Nice.
it's athletics versus acrobatics.
Just like holding him by his arms.
It's not easy.
Beryl,
He's actually putting up a decent fight. You're not holding him fully in the air, but you're holding him.
I'm gonna kind of try to shift him away a little bit. And I look down at him. I go, Mr. Darrow, I will not continue to protect you if you keep lying to us.
Look, I was just making sure the boy is all right. That's the truth.
Well, we checked him, and he's all right.
I know. I know he was casting a spell via Arcana. Since he failed the deception as bad as he did.
Sure.
You were checking him with magic, Isaac.
Yes, I was.
Why hide that from us?
What kind of magic was it?
I wanted to see his thoughts. I know that may seem intrusive to some people, but I just wanted to make sure that he was, mentally there.
I don't think that's rightfully your responsibility.
It was an intelligent thing to do. We were trying to solve the problem. Be kind of hypocritical to attempt to solve the problem and then hand over the problem and restart the cycle, wouldn't it?
That was my thoughts exactly. Asenath seemed crazy. I just wanted to make sure that the kid was all right. I'm sorry that I hit that. I just, I don't know.
When you do those things and you try to hide your intentions, it doesn't look good.
I realize.
Isaac, I hate to have to ask this at this point.
Astra the Raven lands on a tree watching you all.
What?
I said Astra the Raven lands on a tree watching you all continue.
Would you be willing to have your mind read?
Isaac gets a very grave look on his face and says, "Friend, that's a bad idea. It's not that I'm lying. It's not that I'm trying to hide you. It's for your protection."
It's That's what Asenath was saying.
Two different coins?
Right, well, we've all got secrets, we've all got personal problems. But if it pertains to the group and their safety and protection, that is something that you should definitely bring up.
I'm just concerned that possibly the very thing that you're saying you were trying to check with the child has afflicted you.
What?
You were affected
Where is this
far
coming
worse
from?
when you attempted to read that text. You were not fully truthful in your response to me then. And now you have tried to conceal actions, all of us, back to back, which I hate to say, not been your norm since I've known you.
If you're accusing me of having something to do with the orphanage or the children murders, you're far off the mark, friend.
No, I'm saying that perhaps after reading the text, whatever was afflicting Asenath might be now afflicting you. I'm stating this out of concern for, surprisingly, not just us, but for you.
I see your point. However, I will not let you read my thoughts. And that is for your protection. I don't want to explain further. Like Beryl said, everybody has their secrets.
I don't intend to force it on you, but I hope you'll, since you're not condoning the quick and easy result or resolution to the concern, you should understand where questioning of you, at least for the near future, will come from for a time.
I do understand. And I will answer your questions as truthfully as I can. Because I realize
Excellent.
that trust is something that is earned.
Then I have no issues with finishing our business and leaving.
Does that go for all of you? And I look to the group. Can you trust me?
I gently put Isaac down.
Roll a gentle check. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, put him-
His feet break the floor.
I trust you, Mr. Darrow.
Thank
I
you,
don't
Beryl.
know you, Mr. Darrow.
We don't know you, Soul.
Fair.
Right,
The
that should
soul's
probably
next
be
on
a
fire, or she isn't.
that should
I
probably
guess.
be a thing that's addressed. I mean, I'm all for having you with us. You're a great asset, and you're very, very helpful in a fight. But if you're going to be continuing to burn buildings down as we move through the road, I think that's definitely a concern.
Not accusing you of this, but it could come off as destroying evidence.
I'm not going to dignify that with a response.
Appearances can often be deceiving.
All right. Well, this has been a very confusing conversation. I'm gonna go meet a man about a hair clip. I'll meet you at the stables?
We should go to the mayor's office first. Or the family, whatever, if we want to split up.
They're in town. We took care of likely the threat of the town. I think was safe. cover ground. We can leave sooner.
Start walking towards the town.
Alright, all of you make it to the town.
Are we at the gate, the trellis or whatever?
Yes, as you approach the gate, they see you, and the guards' eyes goes wide as they rush toward you. Some with weapons drawn, but not pointing. As they go, "You found the boy, and is that Azanat? Did you pick up the body and bring it, Rogue? Or did you just leave it?"
She wasn't gonna leave it.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. As she looks at seeing the corpse of Azanat and goes, "What the hell? What in the hell's happened?" They have their weapons drawn, but not pointed, as I said.
The
We'd
short
like to see the
version.
mayor. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no. Let you lead with that.
My lead was like, we need to see the mayor.
Right.
Where does Billy live?
Yes. We can get Billy to his home. How about... Unfortunately, you have a dead body with you. We're going to have to escort you to Billy's home and then to the mayor's office.
That's fine. It's his last name on his underwear. I'm not checking.
Especially not here in front of all these people.
Murderers and pedophiles?
Nani?
Oh boy.
Give me 1 second. Actually, no, I'm not gonna call break. Sorry, I'm gonna save that for just in case James shows up at... He said 9. If anyone needs a break before then, let me know, okay? And I will do so, but until then... Okay. As you all get flanked by a group of guards at each side with weapons drawn but not pointed toward you, and they're not, like, grabbing you or holding onto you or anything, as they go, "Apologies, this is just our job, as you've just shown up here with a dead body and one of the missing children, or one of the children that was missing, that has been going... the missing child. The missing child. There's not multiple children missing. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble with that.
It's okay, I'm sure your job is very hard.
As they're just escorting you along. And they will lead you toward, the home of, Billy's. As, they'll go, right. And the guard, that talked to you at the gate initially goes and knocks on the door. I imagine you're carrying him, Astrid. You walk up with him toward the door.
Yeah.
As the door is knocked upon, and after a few seconds, a woman comes to the door. Looks a lot like Billy. Blonde hair, long blonde hair, half-elf. As she opens the door, and she looks very mournful, clearly. She's not in the best state. Then, as she opens the door, she sees Billy, and her eyes go wide as she just rushes forward toward him and goes, "Billy? Billy?" As she rushes toward the kid.
Yeah, Astrid will immediately
Tears, like, coming into her
hand
eyes.
him over. She's not gonna...
Yeah, as she pulls him up into him and goes, Is he okay? You found him. What's wrong with him?"
From what we can tell, he's alright, just unconscious. If you'd like, we have business with the doctor, and we can send him your way once we're done speaking with him.
Oh, as she picks him up and is pulling him into a hug and is crying as she goes, Thank you, I'll take him to the doctor's. You all, I can't thank you enough. Please let me go fetch something for you all."
We don't want anything.
We don't.
Astrid will shoot a look at Silas.
I want to show my gratitude in some way, please.
Really, it's alright.
Maybe bake us a pie at some other point.
If you ever want a pie or need somewhere to stay or anything, you are free to come here.
Isaac's gonna come back in 4 hours and kick the door open like, where's my pie?
Where's my fucking
Make as many
pie?
pies as I can, I swear.
As this talk goes on, Astrid, and Soul as well. Actually, I think Josie too? Let me check.
I think Josie also has the Raven perception. I'm
Well,
not sure
you
though.
have, yeah, you have 16. That's why. Do you have
It's an
16 as well,
18
Soul?
now.
Is it 18 now? Okay.
Yeah, proficiency bonus.
What's your passive perception, Soul?
17.
Okay. What's your passive perception, Josie?
I'm sitting at 16.
Okay. I have to update those. You would have the three of you would have seen the Raven before. As this talk is going on, Astrid, you're just noticing this, but Josie and Soul, you two are very aware of this, keenly aware as you see what look like a large amount of ravens are setting themselves atop the roofs of the buildings around and around the trees, as it seems like almost hundreds of ravens are perched along the area itself around. As before anything else happens, one of the guards at the back that's keeping a lookout, you hear what sounds like his sword drop to the floor, and he goes, "By the gods!" And as that happened, you actually see the mother before you, in front of you, Astrid, her eyes go wide as she's looking past you, behind, and you see her, with Billy in hand, she goes to drop to kneel. As that happens, you also see the other guards begin to turn, eyes wide, and they all drop to kneel, dropping their weapons as well as they do. As, assuming you all turn,
Yeah.
you're going to see an individual approaching. As you see approaching what looks to be a tall humanoid, about 6'2", perhaps, walking forward, dressed in what looks like loose black clothing across his body, and with a very thick, very long cloak that is just hanging off his shoulders, that is covered entirely in raven feathers. He has what looks like short black hair that is very stylized and pushed to the side, and there is a single streak of purple running through the side of it as well. As he wears what looks like a dark black lipstick on his lips as well, and he has very clear makeup and such on, darkening around his eyes as he approaches. He has very pale skin, and in his hand there is a long wooden staff. Atop it there is a live raven that just sits there, looks like it's, cleaning at itself with its beak. His eyes glow a deep purplish yellow color. On his hand holding the staff, you see he has a ring that has what looks like a small piece of cloth attached to it that connects up his arm on the top of his hand to his arm itself, and wraps around, and the cloth itself has what looks like the symbol of a raven's eye on it that emanates magical power. As he walks forward, his free hand has a single piece of ornate jewelry on it, which is a ring, a knuckle ring that completely covers his middle finger that is designed like a raven's talon. And he has what looks like on his right earring a long dangling, right ear, a long dangling earring that has a feather design to it. As he approaches, and all of the guards are kneeling, and all of the folk around you of the town are kneeling as well as he approaches, and there is what feels like incredible magical energy just wafting off of him, just incredibly strong as he walks over. And his eyes narrow, looking at you all as he looks over each of you for a moment, and there is looks like a sort of a small but smug looking grin on his face as he looks over you all, touching his cheek with his finger as he looks to the guards. Why is there laughing in this one?
Because it's spooky.
It's not supposed to be spooky. Necessarily. 1 second. It's just supposed to be dark sounding. Okay.
Alright, dibs on the Birdman.
As he approaches, and he looks toward the guards kneeling, and as you look around, all of the other townsfolk that are in the area are flat kneeled on the ground, like in a respectful manner. As he looks over, smile on his face, pressing his finger up against his mouth, as he goes, You did not take the reward from this kind young woman, did you? As she looks to the, mother kneeling now and looks toward you all.
I'm not sure. Isaac was talking about a pie, so I'm not sure if that counts.
Oh, that's fine. If you're looking to get a pie from the deer later, that's no issue. But good if you did not take any monetary compensation. As he looks to the, bowing guards and bowing everyone around, he goes, Now, no reason to keep on with the bowing. I'll take it from here, you can go, and leave it to me. As he speaks to the guards, as, they look up and goes, Right away, my lord, they wish to see the mayor, as he goes, You can just inform the mayor that they came by. I'm sure they don't really need to see him. As, he looks to you all and goes, Now, let us get a move on. Come with me. Let's
go. Where exactly?
Where exactly? Good question. Didn't expect questions. Usually people just follow. Of course, back to my abode, my homestead, where I will give you all just rewards for the good that you have continually done in my forests.
Oh, Are you the keeper of the woods?
The keeper of the woods. That's a quaint little title. I suppose that is what the towns call me, yes. But that is not my name, no. I can't believe I'm gonna have to listen to this pronunciation again, because I just forgot how to pronounce this.
Is it Irish?
No, it's not Irish, actually. It's Welsh.
Okay. Oh, that's worse, actually. From an American standpoint, I mean.
To all of our Welsh stream viewers. Sorry.
Apologies.
We're not apologizing, but
he takes his hand as he gives a bow with himself. He bows down slightly as he goes. My name is Morgan Legoidwig.
Get the spelling of that.
Yes, you can.
I don't know how to spell Morgan.
I probably spelled it wrong. I just can feel there's extra letters there. There isn't.
It's
And
so fun. I almost chose Morgan for an
and
important name.
And some people call me the Guardian of the Forests, yes.
Are you what those those weird like totem things are for?
Ah, not exactly, but I know of what you speak. My offer still stands. Come with me, I shall give you just rewards for the good you have all performed for me.
Can I insight check him?
Sure.
Oh, I'm gonna insight the Keeper of the Woods.
Man's very hard to read. But he does have an enchanting aura about him.
I mean, yes, he does.
Blindly following people's balls ear.
Yeah, Astrid's willing to go.
Yeah.
Astrid's doing that cartoon floating.
With the heart.
That's mostly Alex. Astrid isn't thirsty.
Can I still have some uses of detect magic. Can I burn one of those?
If you'd like.
I would like.
He is bathed in magic. Of every school except necromancy.
Every school.
Good enough for me.
That sound fair to you all?
Yeah, of course. We should
Perfect.
go.
We'll get a move on then. As he goes to walk, as the mother actually chimes up as she goes, Mr. Lord of the Forest, I wanted to properly compensate these people. As he goes, oh dear. As he walks over to her and places a hand gently at her cheek and just caresses her as she goes, no, worry not for it. These fine individuals, I will properly compensate them in your stead. Take the boy to your doctor, and here as well. Have this, as he holds his hand out, and what looks like a sack of gold appears as he offers it to her. And please, make sure that he recovers well. As she goes, I couldn't take it. As he goes, but you could. And just basically forces it into her hand as she is essentially in no position to refuse. And she just nods along, clearly entranced by this individual as he stands up and then looks to you all and goes, now, this way. It'll just take a moment from me as he starts walking ahead of you all. And as he does, he just gives his staff a small shake, and the raven atop does not even really move much. And looks like a portal appears in a flash in front of you all, swirling in this yellowish magic, as he just gives you a single-fingered, gesture to follow, and he walks through the portal.
Astrid goes right away. You're overthinking why she's doing this right now. You're thinking too much like Alex and Eliza.
You're thinking too much about it. You're thinking too much about it. Don't think about it. Don't think about it.
Yeah, Beryl
Okay.
walks through.
Can we see the other side?
No, it's swathed in like a blackish energy.
Right, and what happens if... Sorry, go ahead.
I just want to know what time of day it was when we emerged from the orphanage.
It was later afternoon. You weren't in there that long.
Should we bring our horse through this hole?
We have an entire carriage. Either we get brought back or we're getting screwed.
I feel like Silas is taking too long to go through a hole that promises him reward.
I feel like he's the only one that doesn't overly trust the person we just met.
But he's hot.
Hot raven man.
What?
Yeah, that's a reason, because that's a reason to trust someone.
Yes.
Well, Astrid and Beryl have stepped through.
Peace. Listen, I've hopped through portals before. This is nothing.
Isaac gives a shrug and walks through.
Okay.
Listen, I've been interacting with his ravens for days now. It's like we've been texting. It's fine.
Silas just looks at Josie. Well, we're either leaving them or we're going in.
Into the hole, then.
He'll hold his sister's hand as he goes a step through if she lets him.
Yeah.
Okay, so the two of you step through. Soul?
Carrying a dead body? I think I'm going to see the mayor.
I mean, he's not there anymore. He stepped through already.
Oh,
And everyone else has stepped through.
It'll be there when we get back.
Bring it
Oh
with.
god.
Hope.
Maybe actually bring it with
is it okay if she just goes to?
What do you mean, is it okay?
You do you, baby.
Like,
I meant out of character. She'd go to the mayor.
so you're not going in the portal.
She's not going in the dark portal.
Portal vanishes as you walk away. And you're going to head to the mayor?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I need those people for 24 hours.
I'm going to call a break here.
Now they're dead.
We're going to take 5 minutes. We'll be back after those 5, and we'll pick up with the main group. Or we'll pick up with the mayor. I'm not sure what'll be. Well, the mayor will assuredly be quicker.
Okay.
As we shall be back in that time. Unmute. Here we go. Alright. Back into it. So picking up where we left off, we're going to pick up with Soul quickly, as you're going to the mayor. And as you start moving, you arrive back at the office. People are giving you looks as you walk with the dead body, but you arrive back where the guards were, as one of the ones looks to you as you go to enter, as he goes, "Oh! You didn't head with the Guardian, I see. Do you want to see the mayor, then?"
She nods.
Yeah, this way, as he will lead you in, carrying the body, and lead you toward the mayor. As the mayor's walking out, he goes, "Aye! Oh, got a dead body there. What happened?"
She has been stealing your children. We found her in a secret hole below the orphanage, and she had little Billy trapped down there. I understand if you do not believe me, and she takes the body off her shoulder and shows the mayor her face.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to go to jail anytime now.
Don't have any jail to send you to. Not that we have to. I believe ya. You guys, none of you have been here long enough to be having a reason to lie about this. There's gonna have to be an investigation that goes on, but from what I understand, you all saved young Billy's life, so I don't see any reason to hold you here. I'm sure if we find foul play was involved, there'll certainly be people that are gonna come after you if that's the case. What a shame. Asenath thought she was a fine girl. Her father would be disappointed.
Her father?
Aye, he's dead now. Was a scholarly type. Died in the incident. Died in the... Well, yeah. Died at Innsmouth.
It wasn't her fault. She seemed to be under duress. She said she did not have a choice.
I don't know what that could mean, but where did all this happen? Where'd you find them?
She would explain how to get
Okay.
to the passageway,
Just go. He'd shake
and
his head.
sorry,
Okay.
and she would say, "Well, also I tried to burn it down. I thought you all
aye.
would be appreciative of such a an act, but the others, they convinced me otherwise. So you will find the entrance is a bit charred. Be careful."
Well, thanks for not burning it down. It'd be good for us to get our own investigation off. Thank you. I wish I could offer you something as a reward, but I don't particularly have anything of value.
There is no need.
We'll look into this and see what we can find.
So, am I free to go?
You seem to have told us everything that, you know, unless you're holding something out. If you've told us everything about it that you can, then we're in the clear. You can go.
She nods and just kind of looks at the body, and then walks out,
Okay. Where are you gonna go?
going back to the inn.
Okay. You're gonna go back to the inn. And we're gonna cut over to them. As you walk through the portals, and then all of you appear in a large circular room that is well lit by candles and a fireplace that exudes a brilliant warmth that keeps the room very warm. There is a large window at the side where you can see out what looks like over a cliff over a mountain range, snowy as well. As you can tell that this building is likely very high up. As you appear in this circular room, you see various things around you. Tables, couch, and some chairs. But also, around the room, there are shelves going all the way up to the roof, which is almost about 100 feet up, that are filled with books going up further and further. A almost extraordinary sight seeing it as you all step through, and he is standing at the back near a table watching the portal as you all step through. Josie and Silas, as you two make your last steps through, he waits for a moment and waits for a moment longer and then snaps his finger and the portal closes behind as he sighs and goes, "Well, it appears your friend believed that she was not interested in my offer."
We actually just met her today.
I know.
She was very helpful, though. I would state that it is likely she intended to bring the body to the mayor. That is what she was on about before Josie and I stepped through.
And that is a shame. I would have loved the chance to get a look at that body, but I suppose I could just get it from the mayor later. A damned shame, truly. I was sincere in my offering of rewards, but it is what it is.
You could still pass the reward that you had intended for her to her.
I don't know. I'll have to think about that one. I was intending to invite you all here and give you the rewards. I don't necessarily think I want to do it the passing along way. But I'll think about it. Nonetheless...
Well, if your
Go ahead.
If your gratitude to us, as it appears to be, is for the deeds that we accomplished, I would like to think that that would imply that all people necessary to accomplish the task would be compensated.
They were cumulative accomplishments, my dear. Starting with the disposal of those bears and the depleting of that magical circle's magic. Then with the disposal of those ogres that were going to cause a number of problems. And then with this.
You're saying that you've been watching us this whole time?
On and off. I've been watching you in my forests. I haven't been watching you sleep or anything of the sort.
I
that's
told you all about the ravens.
That was me looking through the ravens, yes, as he holds his one hand out, and you hear fluttering from above, and a raven flies down and lands on his arm. The ones of this forest, they listen to me, and they always look around, giving me information, as he lets it go flying off. Nonetheless, welcome to my abode. Glad to have you, well, I don't know if I'd call you heroes just yet, but helpful individuals. I forgot to describe as well, there is a large painting up, and the painting looks to be of what looks like the queen of Destin, Anna Avalon, older looking. The original painting you saw, she was like in her 20s maybe. She looks way older now, like maybe like middle-aged, probably like in her 50s or so. That painting is hung high up, and beneath it, written in Elvish, those that can read it, there is a plaque that reads, Current Queen of Destin.
Is that how old she would be right now?
Yes.
Does the painting age with her?
Nothing quite so extravagant, no. It's just one I got so that I can, well, it's a reminder. I've been around for so long, there's been so many kings and such. I can often forget who the current one is, and, well, I did serve as the court mage for quite some time. It'd be embarrassing to forget who my superior was. Though I'll say, as he looks up to the painting, she is someone that is a bit harder to forget.
How come?
Well, Ms. Avalon, Anna, or as I should call her, Queen, is sort of like... She's as ferocious as a lion, yet incredibly loyal and very kind as well. I can't understand the woman personally. Lives too much of a selfless life. But nonetheless, we're not here for my ramblings on about political affairs and the rulers of the land. We're here for you all. To grant you gifts for the good you have done in my lands so recently. As let me start, then, with you, dear Silas, darling. I have something that I think will suit you quite well that, well, let's just say, has been in my care for a while, that I have not been able to pass on to someone in quite a long time. As you'd see him, twirl his finger and a item begin to appear in it. As... Where are you? Oh, wait. I already put them in your folders. For easy access. They're not... It's not available to see yet. But I'm going to make it available to see in a moment. As you see, what looks like a golden brooch of what looks like a sword surrounded by a wreath designed with some nature-like designs on it. I'm going to link the picture of it in Discord so everyone can see it. So here you go. As he holds that out to you, for you to take. Just a little thing, put it on your, jacket, armor, wherever you'd like. And as he presses his, middle finger to his temple, and casts a spell. As he does, he pulls it back, and a strand of blue energy comes out like a string, and, it clings to his finger as he looks to you and goes, "Let me just put this into your mind. It'll tell you exactly what it does." Easier than having to explain it or identify it.
I hope you won't take offense to me taking a mere precaution before allowing you to do that.
Oh, heavens, no. It just wouldn't be you if you didn't take a precaution, would it?
Silas gonna cast protection from evil and good on himself.
Mm-hmm. Satisfied, darling?
Alright then. We'll see after the result.
He goes and presses his finger to your temple as the string of energy moves into your mind, and the information just sort of appears there as you know exactly what it is. This is the Blade Singer's brooch. You can read it, if you would like. It is in your equipment page. And then he goes as well. And one more thing. Since you're... Well... Since you got a bit hurt because of, things you were doing to stop those ogres and that foul, foul man. You had a bit of a bad run-in with, death, let's say. As he would, his hand would glow a faint purple energy and go, I can get rid of that odor that clings to you now, so that more zealous members of my mother's church won't be so... Well, won't be able to detect any issue with you.
Mother's church, yes, please.
As he would press his hand to your arm and go, yes, my mother, the Raven Queen. Dear Mama is a bit of a cold woman, so... Don't...
Metaphorical mother or literal mother?
Oh, darling, my literal mother, of course.
Yeah, you'd inside check it. I don't think he's lying any way, shape, or form, but Silas would incite him.
Fair enough. You can roll.
Assuming roll 20 cooperates.
It might.
Not wanting to pull my character sheet, so I'm baiting it to the punch. That would be +7. Or 5, maybe. Somewhere in there. It's like a 12 or 15 at best.
Hard to read.
Okay. My character sheet's not opening, that's why.
But as he touches you and the magic goes through you, you don't feel anything. Done and done. You shouldn't have any issues with any intense followers of my mother now.
I appreciate it.
Well, going on so that I can get each of you your gifts. Let's move on to you, dear Fey Walker, as he looks to you, Beryl. Been a while since I've seen one with your gift grace this plane. Very, very unique, but not one that hasn't been seen before.
Oh, like, like me, or just from the Feywild?
No, like you, darling.
Well,
Just get angry sometimes, and the nature appears to just bend around you. I get it. I know types like that. Here, this should help you have a bit more control over your outbursts, at least sometimes. He'd twirl his hand, and in his hand would appear what looks to be an orb. A green orb. As is a shimmering green orb reflecting what looks like wild fey magic blooming within it, inside. Beryl, you sense intense wild magic emanating from it. Glows a faint green. He hands it to you, and then he presses his middle finger to his forehead. Blue string comes out, and he goes to offer it to press on your forehead, assuming you don't do anything to stop him.
no, I'm eagerly leaning towards him.
He pushes it into your forehead. You learn exactly what it is. This is the Orb of the Wild Soul. It is in your handouts. In your items. I will link the picture of it in Discord. There you go. So he goes, there you are. That should be helpful for you, giving you a bit more things to do and a bit more control over those outbursts of yours.
Kind of like blushes a little bit and steps back.
Now, who's next? How about you, dear Moonchild? as he looks to you and goes, I have a bit of a peculiar gift for you, daughter of Illustre. That is the metaphorical one, by the way, darlings. Know the confusion because of the presence of a demigod already. There's only one in the room.
Yes, she's my godmother, actually.
How quaint. Gazer of the moon. But is it the moon you gaze upon, or is it just one side that you, well, favor? An interesting question. Maybe you'll find out more about that later on. As she holds his hand out, and appearing in his hand is an amulet necklace. As what you see is, this one has no picture, but a strange amulet with a silver chain attached to a circular decoration. One side of the circle glows a faint silver, like a full moon at night, and the other side is completely obscured in a thick darkness. As he offers it out to you, and then does the same thing as before. Finger to his forehead,
She accepts both.
Okay. This is the Amulet of the Twin-Faced Moon. You can see it in your handouts now. Now then, moving on. Let's go with you, Shooter. Or Hotshot. I don't have a fancy nickname for you.
That's alright.
Here, this should be suitable for your help. Unfortunately, I'm not particularly knowledgeable, nor am I really a collector of your guns. So I don't have anything like that. However, I do know a thing or two about rangers, and I know what they like to have, at the very least. As in his hands would appear a cloak. A blue cloak with wavy green patterns. Offers it out to you, and then offers out his blue string.
Yeah, she'll accept both.
Alright, this is it, the Tradewind Cloak. You have it in your handouts now. Now, I would have done your new friend next, but since she's not here, I guess we'll go to the last one. One of the more interesting ones here. Mr. Isaac Darrow. Knowledge seeker extraordinaire, aren't you?
I consider myself a bit of a connoisseur, I guess you could say.
Seem nervous. Is there an issue?
Well, if I'm being completely honest, I have a lot of questions, but I don't know if you'd be up to take them.
Mr. Darrow, you seem like the type of person who never, ever doesn't have questions.
You're right about that.
Is that curiosity a blessing or a curse, I wonder?
I'm finding out as I go along.
I do think you might already know the answer to that one. A peculiar gift for you. One that I've been longing to be rid of because it doesn't match my, aesthetic of my collection. It's a bit grotesque. As a ring appears in his hand. A small ring, big enough to fit around your middle finger. That looks like... Where are you? This cold, warped ring has 3 yellow gemstones adorning its surface that swivel and move like strange eyes. As he offers it out toward you. And I'm going to link the picture, and he will offer the strand of blue as well. Will you accept both?
Yeah.
As you have received, Isaac, the Ring of Eldritch Ire. Ben is gone. There's the picture. He sent me a message. Okay. Saying that Silas, assuming that after everyone gets their gifts... Okay, I'll bring that up after. Once we get to that. As he hands it to you and goes, seems like it fits your peculiar tastes, Mr. Darrow.
Could I just ask one question?
You certainly can ask as many questions as you'd like, until I decide to stop answering them.
That's well within your right. But who are the gods' gods?
A silly question. Who are the gods' gods? Do you think that creation and the multiverse is so simple that such a thing would exist? The gods of the gods. Then who would be the gods of those gods, and the gods of those, and the gods of those?
I intend to find out.
Mortal investigators like you always try to find out things that are a bit above their station. But relax. The gods of the gods, that is not a question that is easy to answer. There is no gods of the gods in that regard. There are some gods that have been around since the beginning of all creation, and there are some that haven't. A god is not created by another god, generally. A god ascends or is created through different means. But if you're looking for a force that has existed older than most gods, I suppose you could say primordials have existed longer than they did, but they certainly didn't create the gods.
Well, that's certainly information that I'm glad to have been answered. And just one more question, if you don't mind, just because you're ravens.
Like I said, I will answer as many questions as you will ask if I feel like answering them.
Do you know of a man named Toon Maji?
I do not know of a man named Toon Maji personally, no. I know the name, and I know you should continue your journey if you wish to find that answer.
Thank you. And Jake, you said he gave me a blue ribbon as well?
No, the blue strand is the thing he pulls from his head and then puts in
Oh.
yours. That tells you
Sorry,
exactly what it does.
My bad, I misheard. Okay.
Silas would, according to this message, he tries to argue heavily to get the reward for Soul, because she was responsible for keeping him alive and many others alive. So he brings that up now, and the man sort of shrugs and goes, I suppose that's true, but I mean, my offer was clear, and she did not follow through. It's me offering if anyone else had anything they want to do to convince, because Ben isn't here. I'm seeing if anyone else is would also be arguing for the same thing. If not, he's just gonna roll persuasion.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I mean, walking into strange portals is not most people's idea of comfort and safety.
True, but I don't necessarily have to be fair.
I believe she wanted to see the job through to the end, and that included, unfortunately, dealing with the bureaucracy of the town. I don't think she should be punished for that.
It's not a punishment that I'm freely giving something, but you can roll persuasion. I suppose since you're so dedicated to making sure she gets it, I can impart the gift to you. I'm not going to tell you what it does. You're going to have to use your magics to figure that out yourself. But I can give it. As he waves his hand and what looks like a brilliant, almost shining like the sun, silver and gold colored shield appears. As he offers it out, holding, goes, one of you can give it to her.
Can Silas take it? Because he was the one who initially started this.
Sure.
I don't want to take credit away from Ben, because he was the one who wanted to do it.
Yes, Silas will take it. I'll link a picture of it in the chat. Nonetheless, that is the first part of your rewards. Mr. Darrow went and asked some questions, so if any of you have any questions you wish to ask me, you can do that as well. I'll answer what I want to, as I said. But if not...
Do
Okay.
you know anything about a large snake creature that can communicate with humanoids?
There are many large snake creatures that can communicate with humanoids. You'd have to be more
Jake, I can't remember.
specific.
I can't remember if it was black with some red, mostly black with some red, or mostly red with some black.
It's mostly red with some black.
Okay.
Could be a naga, could be an awakened snake. It could be something more sinister.
It seemed to have formed some sort of relationship with another person. Not dissimilar to what seemed to be happening to Azanath.
Like a patron.
I don't know what that means.
Well, I'm sure you know the word patron, but in the terms I'm referring to, it refers more to a magical contract of sorts. Sometimes made unwittingly, sometimes made with the consent of the individual. A deal, if you would. Magic power at a price.
That seems correct.
Well, many things can be patrons in terms of snakes. I mean, there are many snake beings in the world. Many things that it could be. Pulling up my list of things very quickly because I'm forgetting the name. Oh, no, I don't. I remember the name. The obvious, I mean, there's Zahir, god of Yuan-Ti, the poisoner, interloper god. Then there's others, of course. Fey creatures, creatures from the hells, demons. Could be anything.
It's more than I had before, so thank you.
Of course, darling.
Can I get the spelling of the first one?
Zehir.
H. Okay, thank you.
But if nobody else has any questions.
Is Magi alive?
Another question as I was going to move on to the next part. I don't know. Sincerely, I don't. I wish I could help you. But I cannot. Your situation goes above my head. Though, I have a feeling that you've encountered someone that has a good amount of the answers, but he just decided not to give them to you. I can feel his scent on you, and I can feel his scent on him, too, as he looks to Silas. How quaint. Nonetheless, as I was saying before I was only mildly rudely interrupted, my second part of the offer was that I was going to offer you all free transportation, you could say. A teleportation toward a place a bit in the middle way to Wolford, so that you'd be able to get there a bit quicker. Cutting your journey in half, just in half. So you'd get there, what would be early?
Can you teleport our cart and horse as well?
I could do that, yes. Since your friend's not here and you appear to be traveling with her, I do have to alter my plans somewhat. I would have just teleported you all from here with the horse and carriage. But since I can't do that, I may have to be more creative.
If that's too much trouble, I can go back and take the long way. The soul.
There's no trouble involved. It's just having to be more creative.
I mean,
I
it'd be good
don't-
to get there early, like we wanted to.
It would certainly be a stress off, that's for sure.
I don't see why we would pass this opportunity up.
Oops, sorry. Ignore that.
So many abjurations.
It's Abjuration 3.
Well, the offer is there. If it's to be done, I'll send you back to the town. One of my ravens will follow you until you're ready to leave, and as you're moving on the road, a portal will open.
That sounds absolutely lovely. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
thanks a whole lot. That's a
I will let
that's
you.
a big load off.
I'll let you know. Well, no, that's not true. Nonetheless, it is nothing. Thank you for intervening in places I could not, preventing catastrophes that I am unfortunately unable to. It would be, well, a shame if all of the awful things that you all had prevented got to see the full capabilities that they had. Nonetheless,
Do you know what was behind them?
I don't, but I do know that we're in a time of war, and when war goes on, the most foul beings who lurk behind closed curtains and dance in the shadows like to make their plays. War is a great time to, well, advance one's agenda.
Sorry, well, I'm not from around here. The war, well, why is it happening?
Wars happen for many reasons, both in the Fae and both here. This one happens because of, well, you could say self-righteousness from a cursory glance, but a land dispute with a closer eye looking. The Vosian kingdoms clearly do not want the Zillion Empire to have as much land as they do anymore. So they go to war to stop it. That is at least shallowly the level behind the cursory glance. I have a feeling there may be puppeteers pulling at the strings behind the scenes that have other reasons to orchestrate such a grand war.
Do you know what could, well, what could have such an impact like that in the Feywild?
A war? Or
I-
what could start a war in the Feywilds?
Well, it's a bit troubling, and I just I'm a bit concerned. So I just
No
wanted to know
normal war of the prime material would affect the Feywilds.
that that's all it is then. It's just a normal war.
If you'd like to believe that.
Well, I would.
Belief is a powerful tool. Perhaps it'll be so if you believe. But, I have my doubts. All these bad things happening in conjunction are just a bit too convenient for my eyes.
Well, I suppose it depends on the person's perspective. It's not all that convenient for a lot of folk.
Certainly not convenient for the victims.
Seems to be more and more of those as time goes on.
History is fraught with victims, and the world is fraught with victims. That is also a matter of perspective. But regardless, debates on what's happening aside, no normal war would affect the Feywilds. But there are things going on in the Feywild nonetheless. Awful things.
Aye.
Unfortunately, things I can do nothing about. Nor that I would really be able to, even if I had express permission. Nonetheless, I've given you your rewards. You've asked your questions, unless you have more. I'm growing a bit tired, but nonetheless, I can send you all back.
Oh, no, wait. Well, there's one other thing.
Go
Well, there's a lad in the town that we came from. He lost his sister. I just want him to know that she's all right now.
She has passed on, yes. I am sending you back to the town. If you wish to deliver that message yourself.
Yes, I would.
But I could do it for you if you wanted.
No, that's all right. Thank you.
All right, then. One more question from me before you go. My only question, you could say. You could have easily walked away from Oakmil. Wouldn't have been hard. You had no reason to believe you'd gain anything that was, well, of value. You didn't know that I would magically appear before you and present you with wondrous gifts. So, why, then? Why did you look into it?
Well, it seemed that town was about due for some good news. And all those people having such a hard time. I mean, if you have the power to fix something like that, don't you think you should?
Is that your answer too? He looks to you, Astrid.
It just felt important.
I pray those sensibilities will remain intact as you continue to walk the world. They are rare ones. I shall return you to the village, then. To the town, then. Where do you wish to be dropped off?
Center of town would be fine.
All right. Then you may go. Snaps his fingers and a portal appears.
Thank you very much.
As I said, thank you for doing the good you have done.
Beryl walks through the portal with a smile on her face.
Okay.
Astrid is gonna hang back. She wants to be the last one to leave.
Okay. Isaac? Josie?
Yeah, I'll go through.
Isaac?
Before he goes through, he turns around and he goes, "It was the man in yellow, wasn't it?" No, don't answer that. I'll find out on my own.
Just
And he
smiles
walks
at
through.
you. Silas would walk through, and then you're the only one left, Astrid.
I know the time for questions is over, but you may not even know the answer to this, but did he really tell my parents that I'm dead?
I have heard whispers on the wind of the morning of a kingdom in Sylvania due to the death of one of the old royal family.
Right then. Thank you. And she'll walk through.
Okay. Considering the circumstances, and with James not here as well as Ben, I think I'd rather just end it here, despite it being super early. I am sorry about that. We will pick up next week, as that is going to be session for today. I am very sorry. I'm very sorry to those who watched along on the stream as well. Nonetheless, hope
I'm
you
sorry
had
to
fun.
Chris's parents.
And we will pick up next week. Once again, apologies for the short session. Maybe, if you guys are willing to hang around, and James happens to show up before 10, we could continue. But that is if he happens to show up before 10. Does that sound okay with everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay. If that is the case, I am going to call session now, unless James shows up, and end the stream. Thanks for watching, everyone that did. Not going to do an outro today because it being a short one.
Bye, stream.
Have a good one.
Bye, stream.